It's Monday, May 24th, 2021. And this is the Darci's Corner, but we'll see. I very iffy if I'll post it or try to redo this. Because I'm aware that my 5 o'clock shadow is horrendous. And I absolutely despise it. But not enough, I guess, to do something about it yet. I thought I was supposed to go to work today, and so I got myself all set up to go to work. And I was just about to convince myself to go and deal with the 5 o'clock shadow. And then realized I didn't have to work today after all. So I'm like, well, I care a lot less now about my appearance. But I've been feeling inspired to record this for a couple days now. And so I will. But I don't like the aesthetics. I don't like my look right now. So that's one of the very annoying things about being a person like myself, right? Every day we have to start over again, and we don't. I'm not just myself when I wake up in the morning. I have to work at it to become her. I have to put in effort every day just to be the base level self that cisgender women are when they get up. Cisgender women do not wake up in the morning and think, today I'll go shave my breasts. They don't think that. I think that. I wake up in the morning and think, today I need to go and shave my face so that I take away as much of the masculinity as I can, and yet I'm still myself. There's nothing wrong with masculinity, by the way, and there's nothing wrong with the person I was before, except that I'm not that person anymore. But this is there every single day, reminding me that I'm not cis, reminding me that I have to work at it every single day. Well, cisgender people don't have to deal with that, okay? You don't have to get up in the morning and think, I have to go and be him or her, whichever one you happen to have been assigned as, and you're happy with. You just roll and it's good. I have to put in a remarkable amount of effort every single day. And the one day that I skip or don't, like, the 5 o'clock shadow comes back everywhere. I mean, the face especially, but there is something very dysphoric about having to shave my chest, okay, and my shoulders, and every other hairy aspect of my masculine self, which, fuzzy wuzzy is definitely in me, and it's very effing annoying, and there's nothing I can do about it. I am definitely jealous of cisgender women I see walking around out here with their legs out, and they're not doing anything bad or wrong. They're just walking in shorts, and I wish I could do that. I can do that legally, but it will look horrible, and I don't like the way I look that way at all, because it's all splotchy and hairy and big patches of black, and it's not very aesthetically pleasing. Anyway, but none of that's relevant to my current issue that I wanted to record this about. I'm not recording my dysphoria just for the sake of recording dysphoria, but I do have dysphoria, and it's all based on my body image and mostly the body hair that I have to deal with. It's insane how upsetting that is to a person. Anyway, I'm watching this other trans girl, and she's talking about trans people and non-binary people as though they're different. And then she's comparing that to the Sissy community. And it's unfortunate that she's making these parallels because, first of all, you can be all three. You can be transgender, you can be a sissy, and you can be non-binary. You can be all three. But when we're talking about the sissy community or whatever, that's like eroticism, and that's like, generally speaking, that's a man who identifies as a man who's wearing lingerie or carrying a pacifier or something ridiculous, right? And there's nothing wrong with cis straight men, well, straight as they can be, I guess, engaging in that type of activity. That's fine. But that's not the same thing. That's a sexual erotic fetish thing. That's not the same thing as what I'm doing. I'm not dressing feminine to fulfill a fetish or a fantasy. I hate the fact that my masculinity is still very much a part of my life, and there's nothing I can do to shake it. Um, I can never hide my masculinity, and I'm tired of hiding my femininity. So that's why I identify as non-binary, and I'm doing my very best to live a feminine life, taking all the drugs and going through the process. If I could snap my fingers and be just her, I would do it. The whole 9 yards. I would do it all. But I'm not actually dysphoric about my lower half. So if I snap my fingers halfway and just to the top half, that'd be fine. But I would go all the way if I wanted to. Like, I I don't have a problem. The reason I don't ever want to change my bottom half, I mean, it's so much work and labor, and it's very invasive, and I don't dislike the bottom half, so it's like, well, if you don't hate it, then why change it? I do like to have everything, functional and working, but beyond that, it's fine. But that's me. But I do still think about, like, I used to think about it all the time when I was a teenager. What would it be like to be a woman? I never asked anybody that question. I just read it in a book. And the book wasn't about transgender people. I was just reading a novel written from a woman's perspective. And I just fell in love with the character and everything she was doing. And it was what you're supposed to when you're reading a book and you fall in love with the heroine or the hero. You want to be them. And there was sex in that book, and they describe things. I'm like, I wonder what that's like. Like, and I would just wonder about it all the time. But I didn't take that as a sign when I was 12 or 13. I just thought, oh, what a thing to think about. I never thought that could be me. I never thought I was reading about my future self, possibly. Like, that was not my intention at that time. But today, I'm like, well, I don't know that would be a bad thing. But at any rate, at the moment, I'm not pursuing that. I'm very happy to have my masculine moments sometimes. Like, sometimes it's nice because he can take a lot of hits. He's a pretty tough guy. He can do a lot of things. He's actually pretty strong. I refer to my masculine self in the third person like he's not me. But it is me, but it's the part of me that's hard. It's the part of me that gets things done. The rest of me is not that. But that part of me... Anyway, I'm transgender. I'm non-binary. I'm not a sissy. It's not a sexual fetish thing for me. But it could be. I could decide to engage in adult activities if I wanted to. And there's no shame in being an adult, engaged in adult activities. Like, if I want to go have sex in a tutu, well, then I will. I don't want to. But if I wanted to, there's nothing wrong with that. Anyway, so yeah, I'm transgender. And I'm non-binary. And I was shamed initially for being non-binary and told that meant I wasn't transgender. But the person who shamed me for that, they weren't a bad person. They just didn't understand how this condition works. And they thought I was a sexual predator. I'm not. Anyway, that's Darcy's Corner. Out.